Copyright disclaimer. Under Title 17 U.S.C. Section 107, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips a balance in favor of fair use. This is from the Daily Beast. Inside the mysterious $11 million death of a Scientology rehab patient. John Cunningham entered a NARCONON rehab facility, spreading the gospel of Scientology. Then he ended up dead. From Amy Zimmerman, dated May 9th, 2019. A recent $11 million jury verdict in California has found an L. Ron Hubbard-inspired rehabilitation center's negligence to be a substantial factor in the death of a man who sought treatment at the facility. According to legal documents, John Cunningham became a student at NARCONON Redwood Cliffs in 2015. His sister Jan Cunningham came across the facility when she was researching options for her brother online. Jan did not know that Redwood Cliffs was a NARCONON facility fashioned around the teachings of L. Ron Hubbard. When Jan saw Redwood Cliffs' website, drugrehab.net, it was advertised as a very attractive and successful conventional detox and rehab program. The word NARCONON is buried at the bottom of the page in the copyright sections. Cunningham legal does claim would never have allowed her brother to become involved with the facility had she known about the Scientology connection. While drugrehab.net has since been taken down, the Redwood Cliffs facility is still listed on one of the NARCONON's websites as NARCONON Redwood Cliffs. NARCONON.org describes the NARCONON program as based on the discoveries and writings of L. Ron Hubbard, the founder of the Scientology religion, but insists that NARCONON is non-religious and a person does not become a Scientologist by doing the program. Don't you love the Elizabeth Moss ad in here? Fabulous, right? Scientology whistleblower and journalist Tony Ortega has reported that since the lawsuit was filed, Scientology cut ties with its Northern California NARCONON network, and the Redwood Cliffs facility has closed. But NARCONON is still on the hook for its share of the verdict. Scientology referred the Daily Beast to NARCONON's spokesperson, who made the claim that the former NARCONON facility that is a defendant in this case is not part of the NARCONON network and has not been since 2015, and argued that there was a vast conspiracy by lawyers against the NARCONON network. No name, of course. In filings obtained by the Daily Beast, the Cunningham's legal team outlined the path that led John Cunningham to NARCONON Redwood Cliffs, NRC, and then on to Bright Future Recovery, BFR. In 2010, after injuring his back, Cunningham became addicted to Vicodin and later to benzoapines. He was in and out of rehab facilities and survived multiple detoxes. John never tried to harm himself before coming to BFR. So BFR is something to look into. Redwood Cliffs, Mike DePalma, who was involved with Cunningham's intake, as well as his supervisor, have both since admitted that they have no memory of talking to Jan or John about Hubbard or Scientology before John became a student of NARCONON. You see, that's how they're trying to slide out of it. And arrived in San Jose. Of course, there's one in Clearwater. Wonder if the cops send any of their cops having alcohol issues to NARCONON. Do you guys wonder? Interesting. NRC waits until a person pays them thousands of dollars and is committed to becoming a student of NRC before NRC subtly discloses L. Ron Hubbard. Legal filings allege. You'd think that'd be illegal, right? The public and Cunninghams are misled to believe that RC is just another conventional detox program, when in reality, it is a program based on a very controversial cult leader. Notice they didn't say criminal, because that's what he was. NARCONON's website boasts drug-free withdrawal and new life detoxification. It's the Purif probably. Which is based on L. Ron Hubbard's breakthrough discovery. Imagine he has a breakthrough discovery. He's not a doctor. That LSD residues appeared to remain trapped in the body, mainly in the fatty tissues, long after a person had stopped taking the drug. New life detoxification is described as a combination of exercise, nutrition, hydration, and sauna time. Clearly, we all know L. Ron Hubbard didn't get any of that. Ask any NARCONON graduate about the New Life Detox. The website insists. They'll tell you they sweated out the drugs locked up in their system and gained a new energy, a new vitality, a new life, free from drug cravings. L. Ron Hubbard's drug, alcohol addiction, and rehabilitation philosophy is antagonistic to conventional medicine. The Cunningham's legal team argued in their filings. As such, NRC employs staff that is inadequately educated, probably the child slaves. And trained in the care and treatment of drug and alcohol abuse clients, and no medical either. It hires former students. I thought they don't even pay them. It's all that volunteer stuff. It hires former students immediately upon graduation who work directly with the present students. There is no medical staff on site. Again, isn't that illegal, you guys? In an excerpt from her deposition, Jan Cunningham was adamant that she never would have paid Redwood Cliffs $37,500 for her brother's care had she been initially made aware of the program's provenance. I just think that Scientology is a cult, Cunningham stated. They don't believe in traditional medicine, and John needed help. 7 days after he arrived at Bright Future Recovery. Tell me that's not an inversion, you guys. John Cunningham was found hanging in a closet. It's a strange way to word it, isn't it? Before she put John on the plane, Cunningham was allegedly advised by De Palma to make it a check to Redwood Cliffs, as well as Bright Future Recovery. According to court docs, Jan was blindsided by this. She had never heard of BFR. She believed that all of John's care would be handled by RC, Redwood Cliffs. Redwood Cliffs has since denied that they were responsible for the Bright Future Recovery referral. But the Cunninghams' legal team painted a damning picture of the relationship between the two facilities. They claimed in August of 2015, NRC was not providing detoxification services. They were only providing rehabilitation. As such, NRC set up Cherie Davila, 25 years old, and one of NRC's former students, on a non-medical residential detox facility, BFR. Davila received her addiction specialist certification. Anybody could get that. On June 14, 2014, and formed Bright Future Recovery on January 2nd, 2015. Oh boy, you guys. According to legal documents, in July 2015, Bright Future Recovery received its Department of Health Care Services license. What does that tell you right there, you guys? What does that tell you? It just reminds me so much of the things we see with the group homes. Not just the group homes, but the troubled teens industry. It's all the same. Got the license as a non-medical, stress the non-medical, adult residential alcohol and or drug abuse recovery or treatment facility. Less than 2 months later, John Cunningham arrived at Bright Future Recovery. Most, if not all, of Bright Future's clients in August 2015 had been referred to them by NRC. The court filings allege this allowed NRC to maintain control over the student while they were in detox until the student should come back to NRC for rehabilitation. Seven days after he arrived at Bright Future Recovery, John Cunningham was found hanging in a closet. Isn't that an interesting way to describe it? In a press release announcing the jury verdict, the Cunningham family's lawyer, H. Gavin Long, concluded that Bright Future was a horribly run detox facility. They had inexperienced staff, pretty much like no experience. And they don't get too deep into how they're putting Scientology staff members in here. I would not be surprised if a lot of them are minors. Amazing how none of that ever gets revealed, right? They lacked treatment planning and didn't have a care policy. They didn't properly assess patients for bluicide risk. That should be one of the first things they do. Long summarized, John Cunningham was treated so poorly by Bright Future Recovery. He was kept in withdrawal, deprived of his depression medication, and left on his own. So they don't believe in depression medication. Go back and look at what's the other one? The Scientologist father that kept his medication. I can't think of his name. It's not Kyle Brennan. It's... Anyways, I'll go look into that. What NARCONON and Bright Future Recovery did to John was disgraceful, and the jury agreed. How you like that, Sciento? How you like that? Like and subscribe if you like. I will leave a link in the description box. Have a great day. Peace.